Alright, is everybody ready to get started?
Ready as you're ever going to be.
Lovely. So, which brave fellow wants to give us a recap of last session?
I don't remember. So, not me.
We had the I can
meeting.
fill in. Yeah, we had the.
That is the loudest packaging ever, Josh.
I'm sorry.
Was I can't remember the name of the assemblage, like the gathering.
The council?
The council.
The council.
Yeah. And we had a council with all of the vested stakeholders to talk about the encroaching blight and what are we going to do about it. There were kind of two plans, Plan A and Plan B. There were two...
the right plan and the wrong plan.
That's
we'll
pretty
see how
bold,
that goes.
but, coming from the leader, that's fair. So, the Antonia, the leader of the Star of the North, had talked about cleansing sin from the city and from Volcrest. And I think it was Beatrix had talked about going back into the blight for some reason, and I think it was a little bit. I'm having a hard time remembering it. I don't know if that was because there weren't clear objectives about it, or because I'm old.
No, it was option C.
She was being
Evasive.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Beatrix was speaking out of both sides of her mouth intentionally. And yet you all were fine with it, so...
Yeah. And so she kind of was giving a power play, and she got a retinue of troops to go with her into the blight, and my dumbass was voluntold to go out into the blight with her. So.
Gozar's there too.
I roped all you guys in. You did one well.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those are the major points. Everybody had their own little...
So there's something with
Gozar-
Roderick, though.
Huh?
Gozar had a visitor as well too, and
Yes.
Auntie had a visitor.
Gozar and his auntie Hilda had a visitor in the form of Roderick, who had some rather treasonous things to say.
Oh, that's right.
What were they? Because I don't remember.
Basically, he wants your character dead.
Right.
He wants Torin dead.
I remember that.
He wants Felix dead. Although that's more of a good to have, not necessary.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's more of a personal itch he needs scratched. And Auntie Hilda likes the idea because Torin's allowing the Star of North to run rampant on her operation, even if Torin doesn't know who that is necessarily.
Mm.
Say again?
Does I forget? Does Torin know who the target of the Star of the North's operation is?
Didn't we? Yeah. We figured that out.
Okay, I just couldn't recall.
No, when I was with Antonia, remember I owe her a favor,
Ah, yes, okay.
right? Because now I know who set the fire. No, that's what I learned from it, right? So I know that he set the fire to the whorehouse.
Well, we didn't start the fire.
No.
It's always been burning.
Since the world's been turned into
The but as the king or whatever, I would know who that building belongs to. You know what I mean?
Okay, if you say so.
I think I could connect the dots.
Okay, that's fine. Alright then, so Torin is going to be overseeing the coming madness that's descending upon his city, and the rest of you are preparing to embark on an expedition. Tell me about your preparations. It's the day after the council, and the plan is to leave. Let's say to keep things moving. The plan is to leave at noon.
So first off, you told me that Beatrix has communed with it, and it has told her that there is a convoy that will be making its way.
Don't we have to do entanglements and such?
We do. We do. So, thank you for reminding me, Chris. What are everybody's active entanglements? Did we meet any entanglements last session?
I double crossed someone powerful or important and trust you. I don't think I double crossed anyone yet.
Not yet.
Well, not yet. I'm
you
close.
are poised.
I'm
you are
very
poised.
close, but
on the precipice, so
Yeah.
go ahead and hang on to that
All
one.
right.
Mine is, and I fully intend to use it this session, openly denounce someone powerful as an enemy of it to their face or in a way that they will hear about.
Keep rocking it. What do you guys have?
I had give a command to a jealous rival or insubordinate subject to humiliate them.
Do you want to keep that one, or do you want to switch it?
Should be an easy one for you to get. Insubordinate subject. There's a whole bunch of them around you.
Heavy is the head that
So
wears the crown.
my other one, I can make one
not gonna
myself,
take any
or I
more.
could
Sorry.
take
They're good though, aren't they?
seize
Yeah.
greater power, no
Yeah,
matter
that's-
how petty, though it may put someone off.
The prosciutto ones are better.
Okay, cool.
I'll do that one.
Yeah, go with that.
Prosciutto ones are better.
Publicly challenge someone tough to combat over a matter of honor. I think that was the one that was my leftover from last.
Yep. Do you want to keep that, or you want a different one?
And I have sell your steel to someone important besides your patron. That could introduce a weird wild card in this session too.
Yeah, if you want to do that, go for it.
I don't know if I want to do that though. I might, yeah. Yeah. I might stick with publicly challenge someone. So.
Okay, cool. So, anyway. Before we were so correctly interrupted. Looking to leave by noon.
Yep.
So what's everybody's preparations?
So Beatrix has already converted Sergeant Miller
Yep.
to her side, even though
Though
it has
he's-
at the cost of his inner demons and his anxiety and imposter
He's sort of a
syndrome.
nervous wreck right now.
Yep, but he's loyal to me. That's all I care about. And so Beatrix is going to do her morning communion with it,
Mhm.
and she is going to tell it what, or at least as far as like directly that she's going to go into the blight,
Mhm.
and that this represents an opportunity not only to meet with her other sisters, as they are soon to arrive, but to show the heathens that it will succeed where their false gods have not,
Okay. Cool.
and that if it can light the way for her to find the source of the blight, then it will represent a real opportunity. And yes, thank you.
Yes. Go ahead and whisper to.
Whisper into the unspeakable.
Yep.
That's plus arcane. Ooh, that's an 8.
Okay. So. Let's see. The vision you're granted of the location is cloudy, but it's not where you emerged from the blight. It's like almost a full compass rose direction off in terms of orientation from Fallcrest.
Mm-hmm.
But it shows you the road leading south, which almost leads into the mountains. So this would be the edge of the lowland area, so like the edge of the valley.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where it shows you to go. You don't know where specifically, but you know it's down in that direction.
And do I know, or do I have an idea about where my sisters are coming from? Are they taking the same path that I took?
That's not clear. Only the path that it shows you.
Okay. Okay. So then, what season is it?
Fall.
It's fall in Fallcrest. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna get my leg warmers and my headband
Mhm.
and my short skirt and my long boots, my fur-lined boots.
Yeah.
And I am going to see if I can I call on Angus?
Sure. How do you intend to call on him?
So I guess one of the refugees that like he had been spreading worship of it through, like that person had come to me at one point and like told me who the connection was, and so like I essentially send a message back through them.
Sure. Yeah, like
That I'm just looking.
You
for
don't
an
have a good
audience.
rep around among the refugee community, but like some people got the message.
Yeah.
And Angus helped with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can definitely get a message to him. What do you want to communicate?
I want to inform him that I do not. I expect my value or my that my time as granted to me by it may be short at hand, but that others who share my love and his love of it will be coming soon, and my only request is that they be granted every courtesy.
Right? He gets the message. You don't have time to hear back from him, though.
No, I didn't expect to.
So this is the morning of their departure.
Yeah. Right. Gozar.
Gozar would be chatting with Auntie Hilda to see if she had any more to kind of talk about Roderick. And did I ever end up? I know I did my thing to turn into her. Did Roderick ever end up? I didn't end up getting anything from Roderick, right? To be able to turn into Roderick. I can't
No.
remember.
Did you
Okay.
have sex with him?
No, and I
No,
think
much.
once you actually showed him that, he was extremely guarded about making sure he didn't get a piece of hair. You didn't get a piece of hair
Yeah,
from him.
well, that's what I thought.
Dude's shrewd. He's an asshole, but he's shrewd.
So I think I'd be talking with Auntie Hilda just to kind of see, if there's anything she would suggest. I can't remember. Do we know that it's the Northern Light or the Northern Star that started the fire, right?
Yeah. Basically, you concluded at this point that
Yeah.
that was the opening barrage. There.
So I would know obviously that Felix is going to be there. So I think I'd be chatting with Hilda to see if we want to get any revenge on that, or if we want to just more try and get an ear in there and just kind of see what's going on.
Sweetie, I want your first order of business to be to protect yourself. Stay safe.
Well, of course,
This
Auntie.
is going to be dangerous, and I don't want anything happening to you. But if the opportunity presents itself for you to murder him, that would endear us greatly to our new friend Roderick. So,
Yes, yes, it would.
if the opportunity's there, go ahead and take it.
Okay, very good. I think I'll go play with some potions for a little bit. And he's gonna go to the basement and try and concoct a couple potions.
Okay. So what are you trying to do? What are you trying to make the poisons do?
Kill, maim.
Okay. Is this a roll from your playbook?
It's not a roll, so that's why I wasn't sure if there was a particular roll you would want me to make for this.
But it's something that's granted to you by one of your playbook.
Yeah, I'm allowed
abilities?
to make potions and things like
Okay.
that. Like,
You can just
Well,
do it.
yeah. Let's just say anything you didn't have already prepared, you had the stuff for to
okay.
make on short notice. So
Okay.
long as it's something general and not a poison that's designed to kill only one specific person that consumes
No,
it. Or
I
something
think what it
like
would be he'd probably make a couple of them just be prepared. It would be one for like a instant like poisonous death, one for like paralyze somebody, and maybe another sleeping potion.
Sure. So you just have those on your person, and I assume you're going to try and secret them away so they're not easily found. But
Yep.
yeah, you
He's
have
also going to bring a good amount of snacks on the journey as well too, because he's a hungry young lad and wants to make sure he has plenty of food and water for the trip.
Are these special snacks? The kind you consume with fava beans and Chianti?
Human jerky.
Well, maybe he does have
Jerk
a little,
jerky.
He does have a little leftover. What's his name?
Yep.
So yeah, I'll bring that, and then just some other like nuts and berries and.
Okay.
Do I have time to talk to both of these two before they leave?
Absolutely.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Also, while
Together
you're-
or separately?
Separately.
Yeah. So while you're working on your potions, there's a knock at the door, and it's Ivor, Nefaria's number 2, basically.
Okay.
And he tells you that he's been asked to ensure your safety while you're gone. So he's coming with you.
Okay. Welcome along. Glad to have you.
Right. He's all packed up and ready to go already.
Excellent. He hands him a piece of beef jerky. Jerky? It's fresh.
Not hungry, sir.
Okay. If you want any, I got plenty.
Felix, what are you doing this morning?
I'm like packing up all my gear, taking basically like the heaviest like weapons and armor, and I am basically expecting treachery and trickery. So I'm prepared for that.
Okay.
I'll talk.
So compared to like what you go out on patrols plenty,
Right.
Compared to how you pack for that, how is this different?
Like mail under like plated armor, things like that.
So just that little extra bit of protection.
Yeah.
Might slow you down a little bit, but you figure they'll keep up. You'll keep up with them.
Yeah, and like if we're taking people who aren't used to like being in like combat situations, so I'll probably be able to keep up with them because they're not used to like traveling all day on horseback and things like that.
Yep.
So where I do that regularly, so Felix does that regularly. Before when I'm all packed up and have all my like provisions all set aside, I'll go and talk to ask to speak with Antonia too.
Okay. So Antonia's very busy, but she says she has a couple minutes to talk, and you're shown into a meeting room where she's coordinating with a couple of other team captains that have just gotten their orders and are rushing out.
And I'll just tell her that I'm packed. My bags are packed. I'm ready to go. Yeah. I'll just tell her that I'm ready to leave. I wanted to come in for some blessings and direction.
Well, Felix, I unfortunately consider this a bit of a boondoggle that I had my arm twisted into. Huh?
Nothing?
So, the most important thing is to keep yourself safe and to return as quickly as possible. Everything else about this mission, I care nothing for. Its success, its failure, who lives, who dies. So long as you survive and come back to us to help us with the fight here, that's the most important thing.
Okay. I'll take a deep, kind of like sweeping bow, and just let her know that if there is any information to be gleaned from this like whimsical, I don't know, like whimsical like adventure into the blight, I'll be sure to report back on that.
Very well. You have your orders. See to them.
Okay. I'll just kind of I'll leave and go to the predetermined whatever meeting point we talked about.
I have one quick question. I always forget to ask. So I can do potions.
Yeah.
How does that work with like a healing potion? That's something I have
Healing's
to-
different.
Would that be like I have to roll for it? I just want to be able to make those.
I think it would be something special. Like,
So-
it's not some...
So he can use the power or whatever, right?
Yeah, if you wanted to heal something by directly harnessing the unspeakable power, you could do healing that way.
Okay.
It's just going to be lower impact and a little more risky than, say, if the Bloodletter did it. That's what makes the Bloodletter a special class, is that healing is their thing.
Okay. So I could use the unspeakable force to do it.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, you could. So, Torin, you wanted to speak to some folks before they headed out.
Yeah, I think so. I did. So let's talk to Gozar.
How are you summoning Gozar?
Or are you actually going out to meet him?
Oh, absolutely not. So yeah, I just said show up sometime in the morning.
Okay.
No, he shows up at 11:59.
You're gonna be late.
I'm actually, I'm like,
gonna miss your ride.
I'm like in there by 11:59. Like that's the time I arrived.
No, you have to leave at noon though.
Hmm?
You
You have to leave.
Oh, damn it! That's right. All right, 10:59.
That's fine. So you show up at 10:59.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be in the.
He's
room.
gonna make you wait. You
No,
know?
not this time. I'm gonna be in the room waiting for you.
Oh.
You never specified a time.
So,
That was the point.
welcome.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's still the morning.
Oh, that's true. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
I've heard some things.
Sure. What about?
Your establishment.
You mean where I live?
No, the one that burned down. Remember
Oh.
that a couple days ago?
No, I don't remember that.
Really?
I don't know. This is me laughing out of character, not in character.
So it's definitely your family's establishment.
I think so. Again, I don't know everything.
Well, I'm telling you.
Okay. So perfect.
Yeah, very good.
Who did it?
Well, that's what I brought you here for.
Ah. Okay. So you know who did it?
I do.
Ooh. Who?
You would like to know.
If you want to tell me.
You know,
If
I
not,
was thinking since the last time I saw you,
Mhm.
seeing your unnatural ability, we could be really good friends, you and I.
Of course.
And I want to keep you close. I want to move you up.
Well, that would be
I
wonderful.
want to give you everything that you want.
That would be excellent, considering I'm still third in line where I live.
Exactly. So what if you were first in line?
Well, that would be lovely, but I do love my Auntie Hilda.
Oh, nothing bad has to happen to her.
I'll get back to you on that one. Unfortunately, I'm going into the blight.
Yes, good luck with that.
Yes, yes. Somehow I don't know how it happened, but here I am.
Wasn't it your plan?
It wasn't my plan to go in there. It was my plan to do something.
His plan was to have a second plan,
Yes,
nothing beyond
my
that.
plan was to make a second plan, and then Beatrix made the second plan, and it involved me going with her. So I got roped into my own second plan.
Now you have skin in the game.
So I suppose if I get through it, then yeah, how about we have a talk about that? But I'd kind of like to focus on just getting out alive.
Sure. Well, I think you'll have an opportunity while you're on your little adventure.
Oh, okay. Like what?
Well, so, yes. I need... So like I said, we'll ensure that you are the head of your family and the head of your practice for me.
I don't follow that. Head of practice?
Yeah, your family's history with my family.
Oh, so I'm the top dog in the family.
Well, soon to be,
Oh, yeah, okay.
right? And your family's previous history with mine.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
my secretive right hand. let's say,
Okay.
right? So let's continue that.
Of course. Seems to be working well so far.
You haven't really done anything.
I'm here talking to you and I'm not dead, right?
This is true.
It's a win-win so far.
So here's me reaching out. Okay? Do you know Felix?
I've heard the name. I saw him at the little council we had. I know he's coming with us.
He burned your place down.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. That's good to know. Is he going to be missed?
It's not from me.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm not very much the revenge guy just yet. We'll see if he pisses me off or not.
Okay. So, just let you know. And another tidbit of information. Watch out.
Why?
Just keep an eye on your back.
Do I have...
Not literally.
Oh, I thought I had something on it. People used to put kick me signs on my back when I was a little kid, so... Still a bad habit to look back. Okay.
That's what we'll talk when you get back.
Okay, excellent, sir.
All
Have a
right,
good rest of your morning.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
True to form for these two characters.
I have to say, Gozar's been my favorite character so far.
Alright, and you wanted to see Felix too?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you wanted to say me.
I thought it was
Yeah, I
Beatrix.
thought it was Beatrix.
Okay. All right.
So do you also summon him sometime in the morning?
Oh, it would have been earlier.
Hmm.
Earlier in the morning.
Well, I imagine Star of the North gets up pretty
gets
early
up
in the
pretty
morning.
early.
Can't purge sinners, in the evening. That's their time.
Trying to think of an early bird like limerick that would work, but nothing's coming. All right, so I was thinking about like, oh man, wouldn't that be cool? Like this foreshadowing passing of Gozar and Felix going in to see Torin, but
I would have thought like you would have had like a guard like divert one of them if they were like seen.
Yeah.
so
So yeah. So my conversation with you.
Sure.
Thanks for coming. Coffee?
I'm all set, thanks, sir. My lord.
So, to put it bluntly, you know about my relationship with Antonia, and I appreciate your confidence.
I'm not sure that I
And
do
I
follow my
called
lord.
you here. Because of that relationship that we have, which I appreciate. And I just want to let you know that speaking with powers that be, your life might be in danger. I've heard that you remember Gozar, the dunce at the council.
From the House Thornberry.
That's right. That is.
I do remember.
Yes. He, I believe he means to take your life.
How do you know that if you met him before me?
Because
Well,
he knew what he was going to say to
he's
both.
setting it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
He's pitting you against each other.
What?
This is gonna be a fun expedition.
In what? Because I don't know. Felix doesn't know that the establishment belonged to House Thornberry. But so why is it that Gozar would be looking to harm me out of anybody?
So I believe some information has been leaked.
And again, so Felix also isn't aware that Antonia
Right.
told. Yeah.
Right.
What information, my lord?
I believe he knows you're the culprit in the burning of that establishment a couple days ago.
I'll kind of like gravely and like almost like ashamed with shame, like shamefully like nod my head. This knowledge came to you by Antonia and your relationship, as you said?
Oh no. I have many ears and eyes. Besides Antonia. I don't really use her ears and eyes.
Damn.
Oh.
Yeah.
In case you were wondering what kind of relationship.
Yeah, that clarified it.
But you knew that.
I appreciate your candor, my lord.
Yes, I'd like to see you come back. 'Cause, I believe in the Star of the North. I believe what you're doing, and that's why I championed your Antonia's plan. And when you come back, I'd like to, depending on how things go, sort of bring you into the fold. What are we calling him? What are we calling Angus?
General?
General. Some of my general leadership hasn't been up to par lately, so being in your position, you might fill a spot like that.
That would be quite an honor, my lord.
Indeed.
What, if I may ask, do you know more details of Beatrix's plan? she was dodgy at the council.
Yes, my hope is she just, dies in the blight. But we'll see how things go. She is a witch, after
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the information, my lord.
all. You sure you don't want some coffee?
Thank you.
Okay.
I will be sure to call on you upon my return.
Sounds good.
All right. So everybody meets up at noon, and
Gozar's gonna have his dog too.
Hmm?
Of course, Gozar's gonna have his dog
Yeah.
with him, of course, too.
what was your wolf dog's name?
I think I ever gave him a name.
Dog?
Dog.
Let's go with Conan.
Conan?
Jesus.
Conan, yes, Conan.
Conan.
Conan. The
Conan.
Dog.
The dog. name.
dog.
Dogarian.
Oh,
DAWG.
Before, sorry, I thought of one more
Yeah.
prep. I could
Yeah, go
do.
for it.
I mean, reach out to Ivor, the thug who helped me recover the brooch.
So you wanted to talk to him in advance?
Yeah.
Well, he is on Gozar like glue.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't make that connection that it was the same guy.
Yep,
Sorry.
same guy.
Okay, never mind then.
Why make two threats when I can just use one?
Fair enough. Okay, no, that's actually that works out perfectly.
So you got a chance to chat with him on the road.
Yeah,
So do you want to do that?
I would.
Seeing as you're setting out, I assume you give the general direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's head south, and we're heading toward the base of the mountains.
Okay.
And
Sergeant Miller
I'll
calls
take
his-
I'll take the road. Or is the road directly leading out of town that I saw in my vision, or?
Basically, yeah. It's one of the bigger roads to start off with, but then, well, it heads east for a little bit, and then you have to turn south
Okay.
onto a lesser road. How are you guys traveling? Are you all on horseback? Are you walking? Do you have some wagons?
I assume that the crown, because we have 15 men, I assume that we either have
You assume he would
My
send us with
soldiers have
horses?
horses.
yeah. Okay, well then I'll ride behind Sergeant Miller.
Maybe we would.
He likes it that way. No, I'm fine with that.
And I'm sure the Star of the North gave you a horse, and
You have a donkey.
He has a dog.
I have a dog I can ride. He's pretty big.
you're riding Ivor.
Conan the Pomeranian.
I assume your family can equip you with two horses.
Probably, yeah.
Alright, yeah. So you guys are heading out, and on the way you wanted to talk bend Ivor's ear a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm, because of the fact that I am riding on the back of I'm riding literally behind Sergeant Miller, I essentially ask him to avert his ears.
He complies, as best you can tell, anyway.
Yeah.
They don't like flap clothes.
No.
or anything.
Well, it's not winter yet, so he doesn't have the full
Yes.
deerstalker hat, or whatever it's called. Or the flappy hat. Deerstalker is what Sherlock Holmes wears. Never mind.
I think you could call basically any hat with flaps like that a deerstalker.
I don't know.
So yeah, you pull up along Ivor.
I'd ask after Bridget how she's doing.
Bridget. Oh yeah, Bridget. She's been relocated, but with all the, shall we say, recent activity, and he looks over in Felix's direction. Can't say how she's doing right now.
Yes, it is a tragedy that such honest work would be seen as in such a harsh light. I mean, that can't be anything you agree with.
Oh, I try not to have opinions on stuff like that. I'm a simple man.
I'm sure you do, but you were the one who was so kind in helping restore Bridget's brooch, and I would think that the two of you had some sort of pre-existing relationship?
Colleagues, shall we say.
Yes, I'm sure. You have to understand that in my line of work, colleagues can be quite close, the nature of the work being what it is.
Oh, well, you know, I can't say I've
Your
never
secret-
sampled the goods,
Your
but...
secret is, of course, in full confidence.
Well, it's nothing to be ashamed of. You know,
Course
I'm
not.
well compensated, so I can pay for it.
Oh no, I'm sure that a man of your talents would not need for such trifles.
No, such trifles definitely make things easier, in my experience.
My hesitation comes from, I think that as a colleague of hers, that you certainly expressed some concern for her welfare and those working with her. And I can't help but wonder who might have done such a thing that might have caused so much harm to, or potential harm to you and your colleagues. Do you have any idea?
Oh, well, let's just say my management is aware and they are taking action to, shall we say, correct the situation.
That's wonderful. I just want to get across, and I can't imagine you would suspect anything of this, but times being what they are, I hope that my concern for her welfare as well as yours has been quite aptly demonstrated, and that if push should come to shove, that I could at the very least count on your support, that you know that I'm on the side of those who have been your colleagues.
Oh, certainly. You know, if it's one of those your leg's on fire, I will piss on it situations. I'm not going to not do that.
That's marvelous, and if that's something that you find quite interesting, we can experiment with that when we get back.
No, that's okay. That tends to be more expensive anyway, so not worth it in my opinion.
Oh, dear Ivor. You have to understand, I do not charge in that fashion.
He thinks for a moment, and comes back with, that seems what's the word? Unsustainable business model.
I can assure you, dear Ivor, that the Sisterhood's vessel is consistently filled, and that it brings its own rewards that ensure sustainability. And I think that by the end of this expedition, you'll see why.
You say so? Are you trying to persuade him of something now, or just sort of lay the groundwork for
I'm.
something later?
Thing is, I want to just be laying the groundwork, but I'm afraid that I'm not going to have the opportunity in the future.
Mm.
So I'd like to. I essentially want to. I want to persuade him to act in my defense if, like, there's a scuffle.
Okay.
So I'm essentially trying to get him on my side as long as, like, whatever his prior orders don't conflict.
Alright, so yeah, if you lay that out, he thinks about it for a moment, and he's like, alright, so if it's not going to interfere with anything else, yeah, I could do that. Just, we're gonna need to exchange some coin for that to be finalized.
I don't have any coin.
Well, see, that's a problem right there.
But I believe I might be able to provide a down payment. You know, the
No, I get it. I get it. we'll see tonight if we get the opportunity.
All right. Do you want me to roll on that or?
Honestly, like I could make that a persuade with leverage, but I don't see the point. Like Ivor's a really straightforward guy.
Okay.
Like, if it is going to conflict with him, he's going to let you die to follow
No.
whatever his orders are.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't know what those are, but I mean, he's next to Gozar, so I can make an assumption. But like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I push him into a conflict, could I then kind of follow up with that, or do you want me to do that now?
Well, if it's something that's going to conflict with his orders, then yeah, you would need to persuade.
Okay, so essentially take a potential. I guess, forward, not a forward, but like a delayed roll, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that works for me.
Okay.
All right.
I do have a +4 and 4 with him. I just realized, which is great.
Any other interesting things going on along the way?
Gozar wants to talk to Felix.
Go ahead.
So he's behind him because he was near Beatrix. So he taps Ivor and kind of speeds up to catch up to Felix, assuming Felix was ahead of him, which is how we would want it.
And given the information from Torin, I would kind of always keep him. I would always try to keep like him in a field of view or whatever.
Meta. Come on.
I'm playing how
Good.
Gozar would play. So Red's up.
He's been asked to kill somebody. He's going to go talk to him first.
Yeah, right.
He's
So,
done that before.
So Felix, it is right. I think we briefly met at the council, but I didn't really get much of a chance to chat with you.
Gozar?
Yes, I'm Gozar. The voice didn't give it away, did it?
Just thinly smile at him.
Usually gives me away. So, how you doing?
I have judgment out, and I'm kind of like holding on to the hammer and the stirrups, and I'll just kind of like hold up judgment, like ready to go, kind of like indicating.
Good, yeah. Hopefully we get something really good to kill here. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little blunt here. The king wants me to kill you because you burned down my family's whorehouse.
That's not what I said.
Doesn't matter.
Creative interpretation.
I'll kind of like have a slow to comprehend nod, and I said that I suppose that's why he's here, just kind of nodding to Ivor.
I don't know exactly why he's here. He got sent along. I don't really need him, but no offense, Ivor.
Was he close enough to hear that?
He was close enough to hear it. I said no offense. You're a good family friend.
None taken, Master Gozar.
But listen, I don't really care about my family's whorehouse. I didn't like the thing anyway. I don't really want to kill you.
It is a strange turn of events that if you were trying to kill me, that you would tell me about it.
Usually, yeah. I don't usually tell people I kill that I'm going to kill them.
Usually.
You've killed in the past?
Once or twice. But it's bad people. You're not a bad person, right?
I'll kind of dully look at him because I'm an executor for the Star of the North.
Well, you were following orders, correct? You didn't just burn it down willy-nilly because you hated it, right?
Had you been to the establishment before?
I've been there before, yeah.
Then you know the sort of business that goes on there.
Yeah. That's why That's why Gozar is not a huge fan of it. But so if you're just following orders, I get it. I have somebody I have to follow orders for too, unfortunately. So I get it.
But it sounds like you're not following Torin's orders.
Would you want me to follow Torin's orders? My dog has eaten people before.
Again, I'll kind of like look in between
I'm just
my
kidding.
dog and then judgment.
I'm just kidding. Beef jerky.
I appreciate how forthcoming you're being, Gozar, but I don't understand where this is going.
Well, there's the king. Kind of scary, yeah. What's bigger and badder than the king right now?
What is bigger and better than the king, Gozar?
The thing we're going to check out, the blight.
Okay,
That could destroy us all, right?
that's true.
So why would I kill you if you can help with the blight?
Between you and me, Gozar, this whole expedition is folly. We don't know what we're doing out here.
No, I know that. I'm far enough ahead of Beatrix at this point, too.
Oh, yeah, I assumed that
Yeah.
you would have sequestered yourself.
You guys make it. Why do you think I care what you
I
think?
know.
You're out here.
Well, to be
But you're
honest,
here, though.
to be honest, the kook back there is a kook. I don't know what's gonna happen either, but we gotta try something, right? Otherwise, it's just gonna consume us all. So why should I take away somebody who is clearly talented, who may actually be able to help?
My fealties lie with the Star of the North, and I will end the blight. I will end, if an opportunity presents itself, I will end the encroaching blight.
That's what I wanted to hear. And well, obviously I'm not going to tell you to don't worry, because clearly everyone's going to worry, but I'm not planning to kill you, so just take that for what it is. I have bigger plans than you. No offense.
Thanks, Gozar. Good talk.
Good talk. And he's gonna fall back a bit, closer to.
And then stab him.
No,
Yeah, right.
no. I'm actually gonna harness the unspeakable force.
Power.
Unspeakable power.
Scott.
Yes.
Got Scott.
To do what?
What are our surroundings? Are we in the trees? Like, where are we?
Tell me.
I figure we're probably in the forest somewhere, heading towards
Sure.
where.
Yeah, you guys are in a pretty dense.
So I want to knock a tree down, just about near Felix. Not on him, but very close to him.
All right. So let's see. I gotta look it up in the books. It's not listed as a basic move.
No, I read that. It's
You can change the world in some small.
Yeah, I have it right here.
tangible
right.
You are
way.
Matt. You want to just read it?
I think that's I'm gonna get it here in a
Okay.
sec though.
Change the
I
world
think
to
that's
more
I think that's a reasonable thing to try and do with the
Phew.
unspeakable power.
Different dice. That is a 7 plus 2 is 9.
9. Okay.
success.
So the MC will also hold one and may spend it on one of the following. The power knows what you're doing and why you're doing it. The power asks for something minor in return, or the power requests some small show of loyalty.
Okay, when your magic doesn't go well, because it doesn't always go well.
No.
It hasn't yet for a roll for you.
Yeah.
But
Lucky
when it
death.
doesn't go well, what happens?
I'd probably imagine with Gozar, if his magic didn't go well, I don't know. I think it would be.
How does it backfire? Is it, say, like unearthly voices, speaking words of madness to you?
I think
Is
I think it would be
pain racking your body?
No, I think it would be something where he's eaten like people's hearts and things like that. I think it's the fear. I think it's maybe a little craziness in his head, like coming back to like haunt him for everything he's done. So anytime he fails a magic roll, he just hears like these weird voices, like calling him these like horrid names for eating people's hearts and things like that. And it kind of shakes him a little bit and kind of forces his concentration to like backfire a little bit, and he becomes a little more careless because he gets like. That's how I'd anticipate it.
Okay.
More of like a mental anguish that can screw up his.
So you do it, and the tree falls, and it lands.
Well, I have a plan for that.
Okay, tell me about that.
So my plan is I want to land almost on him, but I want to see it, and I want to basically rush up to him on the horse, push him out of the way.
Okay.
To save him from getting crushed by a tree.
Okay. Yeah, sure. You do that. So,
Okay.
suddenly you hear sort of a crack off to the side, and at the same time, Felix, you hear, you notice Gozar rushing up behind you really fast.
Thwack!
I will, again, like, half judgment and then kind of like halt and angle myself. If there's a position to angle myself so I'm facing the direction of the crack and Gozar, then I'll do that.
Gozar is going to yell, just so he doesn't rush up to him, like, blindly
So,
behind
like,
him.
look out!
Yeah, something like that. So he'd kind of say, "Watch out, tree!" as he's, like, coming up.
Yeah, I'll check it. Like, if there is a tree that's going to fall on me, then I'll probably that would take precedence of getting out of the way from that.
Yeah, sure. So you wheel around, you see the tree, and you see Gozar rushing towards you. So you
Seems
just
like
move out of the way of the
That
tree.
would be oddly opportunistic of him to wait for a tree to fall to, like, garrote me or something like that. But I would probably move out of the way of the tree.
Okay, yeah, so you move out of the way, with the warning, you have enough time to move out of the way of the tree. And as the dust settles and people calm their horses a bit, because that was a little startling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up to me.
So,
Depending on what.
shortly after this, like, we're actually pretty much right away, you start feeling sick to your stomach.
Okay.
To the point where you end up vomiting over the side of your horse. And when you look down on the ground, you're pretty sure you see chunks of heart.
Oh, that beef jerky's coming back to bite me. Ugh.
Like, bright red. And it almost looks like it's still beating.
Okay.
They're, like, twitching slightly.
Alright.
I can ride up to Gozar too, and just obviously, like, stir and shake and thank him, and kind of give him like a chuck on the shoulder, or like a pat on the back, and ask him if he's okay.
It's as if Felix is speaking underwater, because all you're hearing in your ears is Jessa's voice accusing you of killing him.
Jessa. Oh, Jessa's that you no, Felix. No, I'm feeling a bit sick all of a sudden. I don't know if something I ate.
Or, I'm sorry, Rotha.
Oh,
Jessa
Rotha.
was the girl.
Okay. I think it was something I ate just really came back to haunt me. Whew.
I'll look down and kind of grimace at whatever he hurled.
Oh,
It looks like
don't
some
eat-
very uncooked meat.
don't eat the local butcher. He didn't cut that meat right.
I'll
Oh.
kind of look at Ivor to see kind of like if he's coming to like respond or look after Gozar too.
He sees
Kinda
you
like
looking
take-
at him
take
and
care-
and
take
he
care
just
of him.
shrugs. Nobody's trying to stab him, so
Yeah.
he's not falling off his horse yet.
I'll take up when he continues riding. I'll take up riding like alongside with Gozar.
Okay.
Still have to use judgment.
Okay, sounds good. Torin, what are you doing after the expedition leaves?
I call on Antonia.
Okay, you go to visit her.
No.
How don't we have music yet?
Oh,
for
you
this?
call her to come see you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, after waiting an appropriate interval, it's not Antonia that shows up. It's Proctor Cavex, who you probably met briefly once or twice, but
Yeah.
like you couldn't really remember his name. But he reintroduces himself. He says, "Exarch Antonia gives her gravest apologies, but with the duties at hand, she cannot be taken away from the Star of the North headquarters. Anything that you can say to me, I will relay to her in the utmost confidence."
What anything he wants to do.
Bring me to her.
"If you so desire, my lord, but
I
she is-
desire it.
Very well." And he leads you there. I assume you bring some guards with you or whatnot, like you usually do when you go out on the town.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to bring let's call it a regiment? I don't know. How are we going to break
Regiments are
down?
usually like
Not a regiment. Like
Platoon?
a platoon?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go
Sure.
with a platoon. Which is how many people?
Well, in modern terms, it's like 30.
Okay. How about what would 3 platoons be?
That'd be
Company?
Like a company. Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. A company.
I learned something from Mech Warrior.
Time well spent.
Yep. So yeah, it takes a little while to muster that many guys up, but they're ready and they march out, and it's a great big show of force to the point where the guards out front of the Star of the North headquarters, who are already kind of on high alert, are looking extremely nervous.
Good.
I assume you leave them standing in formation
Yes.
as you.
Right outside.
Okay. Cavex leads you into a planning room and asks you to wait outside for a moment. And he goes in to talk
And I
to
follow right behind him.
him. Yeah, and Cavex is surprised to see you behind him, but he looks at Antonia, and she nods and he leaves,
Excellent.
closing the door behind him.
How go your efforts?
My lord, I'm very preoccupied.
I
but
understand you're preoccupied. I'm asking how your efforts going.
Preliminary reports are very good. All of our strikes have been successful. All have been done with the element of surprise. But now we are planning for our next wave of strikes, and we will no longer have the element of surprise. So
What's that?
Well, word's out. The Star of the North is, lighting up every den of sin in town.
I was wondering about a den of sin in particular.
Which one?
The Thornberries.
Oh, well, it's mostly theirs. There's quite a few of those.
Yes. Well, why don't we cut them off at the head?
Well, we thought it would be best to remove the base of power, the way they influence people. If we've found when working with criminal groups that if you remove the leadership, the underlings just keep the businesses running. They're a little less coordinated, a little more disorganized, but for the most part, day to day continues, and they continue to corrupt people. Since it's corrupting the citizens of Fallcrest that we are most concerned about, we need to remove their means of corrupting.
Oh, that's a fair point. What if So I brought with me a company of men, and they're at your disposal.
Well,
So I was thinking, the Thornberries.
yes.
We can take them into custody.
Certainly. I believe Master Gozar would be out of town, but he's not integral to their operations. My agents tell me it is Hilda and Nefaria that are the leads.
Those are the ones.
Yes.
Yes. So why don't we take care of them and apprehend them? And I can speak to Mr. Gozar when he returns from his adventure into the blight if he survives.
Indeed. Well, it's a bit of a delicate thing. The Star of the North, we've broadly had our powers recognized as being of law and order, but nobles are always a tricky thing when attempting to apply the law to them.
And who makes them noble?
Oh,
That would be me.
birthright. Certainly, my lord, but they have their own ideas too. I'm sure you've noticed.
Right, and those can be snuffed out.
Well, I would just say, if you want to take them out, I would suggest that would be a good use for all these men you've brought.
Antonia,
Yes.
your goal is to stop the blight, is it not?
It is.
It's to just get rid of the sin in our town, in our city.
It is.
And is not Hilda and
Nefari.
Nefaria a major cause of that?
In the long term, yes, and they will receive justice in due time. But I believe I explained my priorities.
You didn't.
Well,
The blight is encroaching every day.
It is. And I only have so many men. If you wish to use your men...
Did I not just say I gave you a whole company of men to complete your goals?
And I am concerned about politics. I am concerned about the ability to continue operating. So if you wish to police the nobility of this city, I suggest that that is your role as Lord. I will police the people, you police the nobles.
The people are mine, not yours.
Yes, well, I'm sure you think everything's yours.
Everything? Everything is mine!
How different
Of
it is when they're
course
not
it
in the
is,
bedroom.
my lord.
Oh, this is just fueling the tension.
We'll have to work it out somehow.
Yep, exactly.
I serve a higher calling than your petty domain.
Petty.
Petty.
Okay. Just gonna turn around and walk out. So, whoever is, so he's got a whole company, right? So he's going to tell the commander of the company to march down to the Thornberries and apprehend Hilda and Nefaria.
All right.
And once they do so, to put them into the dungeons at the keep.
So you want them to take them alive?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Just wondering if that involves a roll at all.
Probably. I have an honor move. It's
Okay.
that could fall under that call on your faction. Probably.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I think that's a really good idea.
A faction
Yeah.
to help support or to advance your agenda. Spend between 0 and 3 honor. I will be spending 3 honor.
Okay.
And roll plus honor spent. On a 10 plus, activate one of your faction's benefits. On a 7 and 9, so the benefits would be...
Sure, power was 1.
Yes.
Here
Yes.
comes double
So,
ones.
Isn't that terrible?
Double ones, that'll be
Just
awful.
don't be- Jesus. Oh shit.
I've got more if you want to roll somewhere.
you have a good dice? What's
Yeah.
your good... No, it's alright. I'll just use this. It's fine. Oh shit, 7, 8. So that's 7.
That's
plus
a
3,
10.
10.
Sweet.
All right. Yeah. So, the captain salutes sharply, promises that they will be returned alive if at all possible, and
Oh. It will be possible.
as you say, my lord. And snaps off a sharp salute and orders his men to a square, to proceed to a square near the Thornberry's residence, so he can begin talking to his officers and planning the assault.
Excellent. And he's gonna go back to the keep and start drinking.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a little adventure in the woods along the way. Torin has an unhappy interaction. Let's go back to our expedition. So, Beatrix,
Yes.
the vision that you saw wasn't super clear. How long do you think it's going to take to get there?
We left at noon. I'd say we probably would get to that spot by, say, between like right after the sun crosses the horizon, but there's still like ambient light.
Okay.
So, but it's sort of dusk.
All right. So, I take it you share your route with Sergeant Miller, so he can.
Yep.
Right. He advises you we don't want to be too close to the blight at dark at night.
Yeah. So
We want to camp like a good couple miles away from it.
Yeah, so I'd say if the blight, like, if it's not yet in the forest, I'd say I would suggest to him that we, like, make a camp in the forest. Like, right near the clearing, so that we can kind of get a sense of where it is.
Alright, so you want it to be visible at a distance, but a
Yeah.
good couple miles away,
Mm-hmm.
like you suggested?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you find, let's
I'm
say...
giving you a geographic location for us.
Yeah. So, yeah, you'll find a hill that sort of overlooks the edge of the blight from a good couple miles off. You have to go a little bit out of your way to get up there, otherwise the path just sort of keeps leading you through the forest right up to the edge. But once you get up to the hill, you can look out and you can see the blight itself. And, Gozar, you haven't actually seen this before, have you?
I have not. No, I have not seen the blight. I have only heard.
Yeah, so, like, when people described it to you, what did you imagine it looked like?
I don't think you really had a. Obviously, it was well deemed. Gozar is not very smart. I think he thought it was just like blackness, like just engulfing everything, which is blackness.
Yeah, and that's definitely not the case. It's just as clear a view passing into the blight as it is in any other direction. The only difference is there is a visible point at which the vegetation stops being alive. And it draws a rough line across the horizon.
Oh, we can see that pretty clearly now.
Yep. Yeah, you're a good 2 miles away, and you're up on a hill that sort of overlooks it. So,
What do you think?
Colorful?
Intimidating, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. It's. Yeah. Yeah.
Gives you a sense of perspective on the world, doesn't it?
Sure.
What's perspective?
It's just a bunch of dead stuff in a line, and everything past it
You-
seems a little dead.
You were at the council, Gozar. Do you
Yes, I-
think that Exarch Antonia's plan to purge Fallcrest of its, quote, sinners, unquote, will do anything against that? Will
Mhm.
matter in the least to that?
Well, no, not at all. I know that's the bigger enemy right now than anything.
I'm glad we're in agreement.
It's just like the wall.
What wall?
Oh, just a show I watched. Never mind.
Show. Oh, something at the theater.
Yes, something at
You
the
didn't
theater.
strike
Sorry.
me as such a cultured
It's a
individual.
wonderful show.
I'm sure.
A little long. The ending wasn't great, but you know.
Endings are so difficult to plan for.
But yeah, it's definitely the enemy. So I'm with you on that one.
I'm so glad. And Beatrix is going to walk over to Felix.
Yeah, I was planning on riding up to you guys.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
No, I'm going to, because we're encamped, I'm going to
Okay.
like join you. I'm going to walk up to you on foot.
yeah, at this
Okay.
point, Sergeant Miller and his men they're, tying up the horses,
Okay.
pulling some packs off, setting up some lean-tos, that sort of thing.
I can set up my camp as well, like with you guys, obviously. But
Good evening, Felix.
I'll kind of nod curtly and then motion out towards the blight. So what's your plan?
My plan? I thought this was only plan B. Felix, your dear Exarch Antonia was so insistent that her plan was the preeminent one. So actually, my question for you was, what is the plan?
This was your plan, Beatrix.
Oh,
I'm
no,
out to
this was
support it.
Gozar's plan. My suggestions, such as they were merely designed to make the most use of my experience and provide...
I'll drop judgment on the ground in the middle of your monologue.
I believe you've dropped your weapon.
I'm busy setting up camp now.
That's
And
lovely.
and I'll kind of turn my back to her and continue to set up camp.
So, as I was saying, because I'm not taking that,
Okay.
I was going to step right over judgment, click my heel back a bit. Oh, excuse me, I apologize. I can't help but wonder, how confident you are that slaughtering sinners is going to impact that out there. I'm just wondering about the mechanism.
I'll pick up judgment and kind of look down at it, and then look up at you thoughtfully, and I'll say, "There's only one way to find out."
Yes, I'm sure there is. And have you been into the blight?
I've patrolled the blight.
Patrolled. Such a flexible word, that. So I understand that you didn't necessarily want to be here given your reluctance at the council. But I just can't help but wondering what would happen if we went into the blight tomorrow and we found the source of it. And you were able to make good use of that right there.
I would imagine that the people of Fallcrest would, no longer be in harm's way.
From the blight, certainly. And so, let's say, for example, that you decided
Beatrix,
to
do you know of the source of the blight?
That's a very good question. And I think we'll find out tomorrow, won't we?
We will. Good evening.
It is a wonderful evening. And on that note, I just wanted to make it clear that, let's say for the sake of argument that Plan A has absolutely no connection to the blight, and the blight doesn't care one whit for the number of sinners in Fallcrest. Don't you think it makes some sense to provide a patrol, perhaps, or reconnaissance into the blight itself to find out what's actually going on?
And he'll just kind of exasperated, and I'll say, "I don't know what you're playing at, Beatrix, but only time will tell."
Yes, I'm sure it will. I just wanted to make clear that you don't have a fucking clue what you're about to do, and I do. So let's drop the pretense and remember who's actually an experienced hand, no matter what fancy armor you wear or what large sword you use to compensate for whatever else is going on. And Beatrix is going to turn on her heel and walk off.
Okay. And I'll yell out after her, "I don't know what trickery or witchcraft you use to get you through the blight, but when we go into the blight, we're traveling together, and we're going to need to rely on each other. Remember that, Beatrix."
Beatrix isn't going to respond.
I have expected you to punch her in the fucking mouth. Because, if I was playing this
See, his problem, he's got too much duty.
yeah.
Honor bound.
Sweet. Okay.
I think during that whole thing, my dog would have been around there too, just listening, because I can hear everything my dog hears.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot going on in camp, so that's entirely feasible. Do you do anything as people are bedding down, setting up tents?
Gozar's just plotting,
Okay.
silently plotting what he wants
Just
to do.
wringing your hands, steepling your fingers.
He's sharpening his steak knife,
Scheming fingers.
sharpening his steak knife, and making sure he has salt and pepper ready.
All right. I think while the expedition is setting up camp, Torin, are you eating dinner? Done with dinner?
Done with dinner and drunk as fuck.
Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. So
Yeah.
just sort of basking in the afterglow off on your own.
Yeah, well, no, he's going to pay Gertrude a visit.
Oh, so that's the opposite of peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you going to see her for?
Huh?
What are you going to see her for?
He
Because
has...
your relationship's basically entirely transactional at this point.
Right. Well, he's not in right mind right now. So he's going to go down there and make a proposal.
Lord Torin, so surprised to see you at this late hour. Let me try that again. So surprised to see you at this late hour, and upright no less.
For the most part.
Was he looking at his crotch when he said that?
Yeah.
I see.
He's just in his robe.
So
It's
he's
nothing
pitched
else, just a robe.
So he's pitched a tent, is
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're saying.
No,
Okay.
no, just a robe. He's open in the front.
Oh, okay. Ah. Well.
I have a proposal for you.
Oh, I'm sure this will be delightful. Go right ahead.
It's
my
about
lord.
her daughter.
I'm confused.
I have a match for her.
Oh, really? Suddenly she forgets the whole robe situation. Do tell.
So you know the Thornberries, right?
Jesus.
Yes, they've fallen somewhat out of favor, but they're still a prominent family, I believe.
But you know that wretch Gozar.
Oh, he was rather handsome, though.
Well, that's who I propose.
Really?
Just today. Well,
He's trying to get you killed and married. It's like fuck, marry, kill in one shot.
Basically, he's just rolling the dice and seeing what comes up. He doesn't care about the numbers. He just wants to shake the shit out of them.
so we're in agreement then.
Oh, well, it's definitely something that we could consider, I'm sure.
Well, it depends on how things go over the next couple of days, but we can make it happen.
Yes, he may, in fact, return a hero of the realm. I'd say...
I find that not likely. But
No, but it is a possibility, however, outside. And if it were to come to pass, that would be... I guess that would be very fortuitous.
you know, I forget sometimes how beautiful you are.
Oh, stop! Really? Because it's not going to get you anywhere.
Really?
Yes.
That's too bad.
She just shrugs. So are you gonna actually like put some moves on her, or are you just gonna show
Engage
your
in
dick?
Congress.
You're just gonna helicopter your dick and hope that it falls into her.
No, I'll put some moves on her and persuade her, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I'd say with some persistence, she finally relents.
Yeah.
You know, that some of that old magic rekindles.
Oh, Gertrude, it's been too long.
We are not role playing this.
I know.
Off scene, please. Off scene. Isn't there a part in the rule books about
Yeah.
limits being set or
Limits.
something? Yeah.
You crossed the line.
Take me, you bearded ravager!
Not there. Not there.
Harder! Harder! Too hard! Too hard!
Alright.
That is quite enough of that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So anyway. You falling asleep there? Are you going back to your chambers? What are you...
I want to ask her about what's his
Color
face?
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Douchebag.
Which one?
Exactly.
Yeah, you
The guy
really are going to have to be more specific.
I know. Roderick.
Roderick, yep.
Like, hey, you told me earlier about him leaving in the middle of the night. Have you heard anything else about his goings-ons?
Yes, he's had quite a few comings and goings, but, I mean, nothing worth mentioning. He's just always been that way. I assume he's off whoring.
Okay.
Do you want to dig deeper on that, or you want to? Because I think if you want any more than like a
Well,
surface
I'm
level
just trying to
answer-
think. I don't want to like out of character sort of pursue something that I wouldn't. Like, I don't know what he's done in his presence that would prompt that. So I don't think he'd. Just I think you just asked the question if she's heard anything else, because I don't think there's been, unless you remember something at all,
Reason for him to question.
reason him to question Roderick's.
All right,
No,
so
I think he views kind of Broderick as an oaf and an opportunist, but like not really
Right,
treasonous.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't had any interaction with him recently that would sort of.
I mean, well, there is
Well,
the hand
he was
thing.
he was snarky and at the
But he's always like that.
But
Yeah,
more
he
than
is always
that
like
than like a real seditious threat.
I think if you want to make use of Gertrude's knowledge about comings and goings in the castle,
Yeah.
I think that might be sort of a custom move, actually.
Okay.
Mhm.
Actually, let's just do. Actually, we'll do because you've already rolled to gain access to that, and you're clearly putting in the effort to maintain that bond. Let's do study. If you want some serious information, study a situation. Roll that one, and you'll use your intellect to question her to try and gain insight to what's going on.
Okay. Okay, so that's a sly, and I have a +1 on sly. Oh. Wow, that's a lot. 12.
Okay, well, go ahead and ask 3 questions on study a person. Do you have the cheat sheet?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Question while he's looking that up.
Yeah.
Can my confrontation with Felix count toward my entanglement? Because I essentially called out his exarch as completely not only helpless but like counterproductive.
I'd say so.
Your sex move. Your sex move.
So then
is
I-
leverage.
I level up.
Hmm?
I level up.
All right, great.
Nice. I forgot. So we just had sex, right? And
Yes.
you just reminded me. So
Yeah.
I'd like to incorporate that sex move. If an NPC, you may request something or convince them of something, as if you had made a persuade with leverage on a +10.
Okay.
Um,
Are you going to ask for something in addition to
so yeah,
access to her?
I want to convince her.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of me coming to her with information, if anything that pops up on her radar that may impact my position or the families or the goings on, come to me instead.
So I think her response to that's going to be along the lines of, she'll do the best she can, but unless she's intimately familiar with what the exact things going on are,
Right,
that makes it more difficult. Like, if she doesn't know who to watch,
right.
if she doesn't know who's dangerous, that sort of thing. Like, right now she wouldn't know to pay any attention to Gozar as anything other than a suitable heir.
Well, I think during this exchange, he is going to tell her like what he did today, like as far as take into custody Hilda and Nefaria because of Gozar and what he told Felix. You know, that whole
Okay, so you're bringing her into the
bring
fold.
her into the fold. Yeah.
Bold move.
And letting her know that with Gozar, you know, with what was promised, you know, he has a spot to whatever, but with how strong his daughter is, willed and otherwise, that. So, and then I think she knows that too.
Okay, yeah, sure. So did you want to ask any questions
Yes.
on that?
Yes. So I think the original question was about Roderick, and I guess
Well, was it Roderick specifically, or more trying to find stuff that would be wrong?
but yeah, let's just say like pillow talk in general. Like Like what's going wrong as far as like, people trying to kill me, sort of thing. Let's say, what are you leaving out?
Let's see.
Pretty intense pillow talk.
Oh, this
I know,
is
right?
this is study a situation to like the situation of the castle, and
A
what
person
they're
or
going-
situation? Which one are we doing?
situation.
Oh, okay. I thought you said person.
Yeah, sorry, no, because Gertrude is like her little network is paying attention to the goings on in the keep.
Okay. So I'll ask her. As far as like the goings on of the keep, who's actually? I'm gonna add the word trying to pull my strings here.
Well, for that one, she, in answer to it, she puts
Besides you.
Well, of course, I'm your wife. What else could you expect? But it's that Antonia. She thinks that she can run roughshod over the goings on of our city.
Tell me about it.
Indeed.
So can I not ask the next two and just save them for?
Yeah,
Or-
sure. You can do that.
I think I'll do that.
Remember, if you're ever like acting directly on answers to study a situation, study a person, you get +1 on that roll.
Okay.
Just it comes down to you remembering because I'm not gonna remember.
Roger. Yeah.
So, Nate, just to let you know, I'm taking the beloved move. It is everywhere.
And what does that do?
When you call upon its help during the battle, roll plus Arcane. On a 10 plus, hold 2. On a 7-9, hold 1. During the battle, you can spend your hold 1 for 1 to name an NPC in the battle. It takes them out of the fight. Detail how with the MC. Name a character in the battle. It protects them from an attack. It shields you. Ignore all harm to yourself from an attack. It inspires those around you. Compel an observer to join the battle on your side or escape the melee. On a miss, it rebukes your pleas. Take -1 forward for the combat.
Okay.
Cool. So one more question for her. How does she think Antonia is vulnerable to me?
Okay.
Does Gertrude know about your relationship? I'm just curious.
Does she?
I don't know. I would say
Probably.
he doesn't.
He has no indication that she's aware
Yeah, that works.
of it.
I was trying to buy you a little time there to think. So.
Let's say she relies on the fact that you recognize the Star of the North's authority. If that's challenged, their ability to continue with their little mission here, Plan A,
Right. Right.
becomes more difficult
Mm-hmm.
in a lot of different ways. So
Okay.
that's how they're most vulnerable to you.
Okay.
All right. So next day, unless anybody's got something else, some midnight
I wanted
shenanigans.
I wanted to talk to the guards again, just check in with them,
Sure.
to follow up with them. I met with them at the council, and then Beatrix had a chance to get her hooks in a little bit with Sergeant Miller.
Oh, he doesn't really like hooks, but we've discussed this a future potential.
And not to metagame, like I don't know what the Beatrix is.
Well, let's
basically
just-
doing a tug of war.
Let's
but-
just say you check in on them around
Yeah.
the campfire, and you ask how they're doing. And one of them makes a snide remark about Sergeant Miller following Beatrix around like a puppy dog.
and I'll say, since the council, when is this? This is it seems like a new development.
Well, it's just he's been that way all day. You know, just right on our heels. He's always eager to please us, some such. But, you know, he's a good sort, but it is a little weird.
Well,
I think he might be smitten.
I don't know what he sees.
One of the other ones makes a crass remark about how he does.
I'll just say that, men, when we're in the blight tomorrow, we're still all looking out for each other's backs. Safety is paramount. If we don't survive, we can't find, we can't, do whatever this fool's errand is that we're being sent out here to do. But I'll still honor this gentleman's agreement that we had at the council to keep an eye out for each other.
Yeah, they nod along with that. They're all on board with staying alive first, figuring out how to do whatever stupid thing it is they're there to do next.
Yeah, and
It's that enlisted, we've got to survive the officer's orders in order to carry out the officer's orders thing.
right. Well put. Yeah, well put. Yeah. And I'll say that. Do you think Sergeant Miller has any more of an idea about what Beatrix is sending us out here to do?
Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, he's trying his best, but he's been weird today. Just really on edge. Granted, we don't generally get sent out to the blight, so I'm a little on edge too.
Try to get some sleep, man. And
Yeah.
I'll leave and go back to my tent and go to sleep too. Are we setting up? We would probably set up a guard. It'd probably be of their guys too, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have 2 guards that rove around the perimeter, and they've set up a watch schedule for that.
Nice.
So nobody's losing more than an hour and a half of sleep.
Nice.
If some of you want to stay up and stare paranoidly at each other all night, that's up to you.
That's a crazy feeling, like a terrible feeling.
Beatrix sleeps well.
All right. So we'll move on to the next day. Torin.
Yes.
So it's early in the morning. You've got your robe cinched backed up, and you're not even really drunk yet. So
I'm full of regret, though.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did Torrance sleep in the wife's chambers?
No, he sauntered back.
Okay.
Surprising all the kitchen hands and
Oh, like
everyone
they haven't
noticing.
seen this before.
That's
Come on.
true. Yeah, they're used to it.
Revert your
Robe's still undone.
Yeah.
Whoa! Take a good look. But you're about to start receiving your daily meetings and whatnot, and the first on your schedule is Master Pomfrey, who you remember from the council as the one who was complaining about the warehouses being seized.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see him, or do you wanna click him off, or?
I'll see him. Is he in? Is it a private meeting or is it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
And so he's seen in, and he comes to you actually with his hat literally in his hands. And he sort of, it takes him a second, but he basically gathers himself and he says, "My lord, I know I had stern words for you at the council, and well, I haven't changed my opinion on those matters. I have a different matter to bring to your attention that I am very concerned about.
Yes.
The Star of the North. They have been conducting their anti-sinner operations, or whatever they're calling it, And while they have, for the most part, been attacking dens of ill repute, they have been attacking other targets as well.
Such as?
One of the targets they have hit is a counting house that I own.
Why would they attack there?
That is an excellent question, my lord. They claimed that we handled money for disreputable purposes.
Did you?
I cannot say because they
How
took...
can you not say when you own it?
My lord, I cannot know the provenance of every coin that passes through my possession.
So you don't know. So it's possible.
It is possible that we have handled the accounts for an illicit operation, but that does not excuse what they did. My lord, they broke down the door, they beat 5 of my men senseless, they murdered my nephew. He's my wife's nephew, not my nephew, but I've heard no end of hell about it. All he did was stand up and ask why they were there, and he got a warhammer to the face.
That's unfortunate.
That's a grave injustice, my lord.
Indeed. What do you propose? What should I do for you?
My lord, I would like you to step in and cease these attacks, because some of them are entirely misguided or at least disproportionate. If they wish to see accounts as it relates to criminal activities, they could simply request to do so. If you or any of your representatives would have asked, I would have gladly done so. The law requires it. But they did not even bother. They kicked in the door, they murdered or injured my men, and then they made off with not only the books, but all of the money in the vault.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
It was quite a sum. They claimed they couldn't confirm that all of it was free of sin, so all of it is tainted, and they would take it. To repurpose for righteous purposes, they said. I have been robbed. The people whose money that is have been robbed. Not all of it was mine. It was held in trust for a number of other parties.
Did you have any names?
I would definitely have some names for you, my lord, except they confiscated every book on the premises.
No, I mean of the star that were there. Do you know who?
The speaking okay, what's the word for it here? The representative not under arms, who did most of the talking, went by the name Proctor Cavex, but there were quite a few men in armor who were armed and not afraid to use their weapons on unarmed clerks and accountants.
I see. Dr. Cavex say.
Indeed.
He's going to do the same thing I'm doing. He's going to go through a notebook at his desk. Cavex with a C?
No, with a K, I believe.
Oh, with a K. Indeed. I know the head of the Star of the North quite well. I'll have a conversation and call on me in 2 days. I'll have an answer for you.
Thank you, my lord. I very much appreciate your receptiveness. And he bows and excuses himself.
Lording is tough work.
Pain in the ass.
All these people
Shut the
complaining.
fuck up! I don't care about you.
Why won't you just let me drink and be the boss?
Well, that second part is what's going on.
He's going to send word to the Star that he has information about some heretics and would like to speak to Cavex about it.
Okay.
So eventually
So-
or whatever.
You put out the word, but Kavix doesn't get back to you right away.
That's fine.
He's probably busy.
Yeah, he's busy. That's fine.
So let's jump over to the expedition. So it's morning. Everybody's had their bacon and victuals, and in some cases jerky. You're getting ready to head out for the day. Beatrix, you know you're close, but you're not sure.
Did I have an opportunity to have an additional communion with it?
You certainly did if you wanted to.
So I'm going to tell it that I have brought what I could,
Mm-hmm.
but that because of my own weakness in conveying the glory of it, those whom I brought are, for the most part, faithless interlopers, with one or two exceptions. And I need to and that I wish to demonstrate its glory to the faithless in ways that my mere mortal shell cannot. And if I can show them the source of the blight, then I will have the authority I need to do its work. Capital I, capital W. Well, capital C, since I address it by name when I commune with them. And I'll roll again.
I think it'll respond to you clearly. Converting the non-believers is not what is important right now. They are needed, or rather, they will be needed to protect your compatriots. They are close, but threats close in around them. You must bring your flock, inadequate as they are, to defend.
Show me the path to my sisters,
Right,
and
go ahead.
I will do your will.
Yeah, give me another whisper to see if you can.
It's an 8 again.
Okay. So you see the blight, your vision from the hilltop, because I'm sure you looked at it before you
Mhm.
went into communion.
Oh yeah.
You see a winding path through the forest as it's alive, and then as it crosses in and is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a path to follow. It's a little rough. It's not clear, but you're pretty sure you know which way to go.
So then, when I finish communion, I'm going to go out and ask for all the men to assemble and Felix, to address them.
Are you saying he's not a man?
I think I said that last night, but you know.
Burn. Burn.
Well, I said he was using his giant sword as a compensation for a tiny
Well, it's
penis.
a hammer.
Oh, hammer, even worse.
No.
Well, you know, I'm not making a statement of whether or not Felix has been circumcised.
Just to be clear, the hammer is my penis.
So good.
What is called judgment?
Y'all need to watch Dr.
Dr.
Horrible's
Horrible's
sing-along
sing-along
blog. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
You got it.
Gentlemen, this is the morning of a most auspicious day. For we will journey into the blight, and we will do what no other force on this earth, and she's going to take a long hard look at Felix,
I'll take a big yawn.
can do when sitting back in their creature comforts. We will go out into the blight, and we will find its source. And, it willing, we will find a way to crush it. But failing that, we will still find what we need. This day will be difficult. I have no doubt of that. For those of you who have not traveled into the blight, it will test your body, your mind, and your soul. But for those of you who have or are open to the glory of it, you will find your way smooth. And for those that do not, I weep for your lost sanity.
So the men that were assigned are like glancing back and forth at each other. Like, what the fuck did we get sent into?
I didn't send my best man.
No.
No.
I told you I don't expect to really survive this.
Wow. Yeah. So they don't look happy about that. Do you want to try and give him a pep talk to bring him back from that "you're probably gonna die" bit?
Oh, I didn't mean no. Yeah.
Or
no,
sorry,
You
not
go
you're probably
insane.
gonna die.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna go insane and then die.
Yeah.
How close are we to the blight?
About a couple miles. You're still up on the hilltop where you guys made camp.
Gozar's gonna try something stupid.
I love it.
That's what
Yeah,
Gozar would
that's
do.
great.
Gozar's gonna walk into the blight.
He's just gonna walk off on his own.
He's gonna walk off and go into the blight
Did he do this before her whole thing?
after her speech.
So he's just gonna set off ahead of everybody else.
He's been around. Even though he thinks Beatrix is kind of a kook, he kind of believes it a little bit because she is the only one that's been able to walk through the blight unharmed,
According to her.
according to her. But that's what he believes. So he's gonna
And
take
you've experienced it.
he's gonna take a walk. He's gonna take a walk.
Okay.
He's gonna die, and everyone gets their wish, or he's gonna somehow survive.
So Ivor follows you, and once you're well enough away,
He turns around to
says-
Ivor and says, "Ivor, you don't need to follow me here. Like, go back. If I don't make it, take care of the family.
so
Make sure Conan is good."
my orders are to keep you safe.
Yeah, not on this one. I mean,
Well,
wow. Did my voice change because I'm becoming a man finally?
Or did you just forget?
I'm becoming a man. Oh, damn it.
It
No,
was
I-
a glorious few seconds there, so.
Someday it'll be permanent. You stay. I can't let you take this walk with me. You can turn around and make sure nobody's going to shoot me.
Well, sir, to be honest, I could also make sure you don't go in there. That would be following my orders, or rather more specifically.
Your orders are to stay close, so how about you walk up right before the blight and then just don't walk through? Is that good enough for you?
Well, you know.
Stay close doesn't mean you have to be touching my arm or something.
So, do you want to convince him to stay back?
I think I'd want to convince him to stay back.
Okay. Give me a persuade with leverage. Your leverage being that you actually seem to give a shit.
Yeah, he does. He actually likes. So that is a what?
Wiley.
Flat roll. 7. So close.
Any fails tonight? There's been no fails.
I don't
No,
think
no,
so,
none so far. Let's see. What are my complications?
not leveled up at all.
Well, you see, the thing is that our MC took away the main element that would give you experience, which is the highlighting. And so we've only
failed
been
rolls.
Well, no, but that's my point, is that we've only been able to do failed rolls, and if you don't fail that many rolls, you're not going to level up.
Yeah, it just mean I think
I've only leveled up once, and of course I forgot to add
with
it to my roll
highlighting,
earlier.
it's like ticking a box.
Oh, no, I get, like, the reason for
Yeah.
it. And I'm not disputing, like, your ruling on that, I'm just saying, like, that's been the effect of it.
Yeah, and so like I think yeah, you guys get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So with a mixed success,
You pick one of those.
yeah, I think Ivor's gonna He's gonna say, appreciate the sentiment, sir, but I'm just gonna stick right with you.
Of course you are.
Well, you know, the lads at the tavern, they want good stories, and how many of them have gone into the blight?
None that have come around back, so...
Yeah, a
Well,
bunch
how
of
about-
pansies.
How about this? So once I start walking to the blight, if I start dying, pull me back. But don't go in it.
Sure, I'll tie a rope around your waist.
You don't need to tie a rope to shake my arm back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's easy enough.
Alright. That's what they're gonna do then.
So I am going to.
So you're gonna try and catch up with them because they're not going in quite the right direction.
Yeah, no, I am going to catch up with them.
And I'll call out after Gozar too, just because it's weird that he would be walking.
Dear Gozar, a moment.
Sure.
So, I understand the skepticism of the uninitiated. You are not one of those. Do you trust my judgment in terms of... Are you willing to accept my judgment as far as where we need to go here?
Well, you haven't led me astray so far.
That's correct, and I appreciate that you're touching faith that way.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Thank you.
No need to apologize. I appreciate your initiative.
So he goes in the right direction.
And I'll whisper to Sergeant Miller. Dear Sergeant, as appreciative as I've been of your efforts on my behalf, I suspect your men are understandably reticent. But I am certain that you can inspire them to the great heights necessary for the successful conclusion of this expedition.
So you're asking,
I'm going to give him a pep talk to more directly inspire his
are
men.
you asking him to go inspire his men?
Yes.
I think if he just goes and does that on his own, it's not going to go great because he's
Right.
Like
Yeah.
whatever confidence he had
Yeah.
in his abilities are gone.
Right, so I'm
Right.
trying to pep him up.
Okay. Well, you make him feel a little better.
Well, like, I guess my question is this me trying to take another shot at his inner demons, or is this me trying to persuade with leverage as a way to, like, bolster his confidence?
I don't really think it can be either in this case because I don't think you have time to deal with his inner demons. And I don't think that persuading him that he should persuade his men to do better.
Can I have then done that in the evening? Because I didn't do anything else at night other than argue with Felix.
Sure, yeah, we can wind the clock back and do that.
Well, she is off riding up with Gozar and talking with him and Sergeant Miller. I'll talk to the men and just and tell them, like, how long do you think this crazy bitch is gonna last in the blight before she loses her mind or gets ripped apart by the savages? And I was like, I don't know, like how long has anybody heard of anybody surviving and keeping their sanity in the blight? I say we just let this crazy bitch wander off into the blight and lose her mind and ride back to town. Like, us killing ourselves is not going to prove anything.
You're saying this to them?
Yes.
Yeah, you get some chuckles and some nods there. But there's a few eyes cast at Sergeant Miller because they know they're supposed to be following him.
And I'll just say, I'll be able to speak on authority about us following through. There is no sense in losing our lives for no purpose out here, man.
There's a few nods. There's a few meaningful glances between them. I think you've laid the groundwork there, but like when the time comes, that'll probably be a role to convince them to do something.
Gozar would have left Conan behind as well, too.
No, yeah, had him stay up at camp. Yeah. Okay. So do you want to flash back to your
Yeah.
dealing with Sergeant Miller?
Yep.
Right. Do you want to just do the confront the?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what it's called, but
Yeah,
confront
enter demons. Oh, there we go. Finally, something that works. A 12.
Okay. So
Finally.
yeah, so you draw out the demons and you convince him that he's not an imposter, that he's confident, he's capable, and you know he's going to be that way from now on.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you want?
Yeah. Exactly. I can remove his fear. I think it's. Hold on, let me get the exact language.
Yeah.
They're freed of doubt, fear, or sadness.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, the doubt about
And the
his
change is
abilities.
permanent on a 10 plus.
Yes.
And because this ritual does involve sex, I'm going to make use of the beloved move and say that he has to spread worship of it to his men.
Okay. Yeah, while you're traveling down, he is basically talking up your whole deal and giving them confidence, letting them know they're going to be protected, that glory awaits them, fulfillment, etc., etc. So this is going to be a real contest of wills. When Alright, cool. Do we have anything else for the expedition before we get to the blight, or?
No, I'm ready to go in.
Alright. Smash cut to the scene where you're all standing in front of the blight. Does anybody want to make a first move? Torin, do you want to make a move?
From the keep?
From the keep, not directly related to the expedition.
Oh, okay.
I want to give her. He's not on the expedition, so I got to make sure he gets some screen time.
He's gonna do unspeakable power, and just say "fuck you." No, I'm just kidding.
All right, roll 2d6 to see if
No.
they see the words "fuck you" appear in their life. It's pretty low stakes right
It's
here.
sticks that fall from a tree. No, I'm good. All set.
Okay.
Am I right now?
So you're outside the blight. You're like right there. What are you guys doing?
Gozar's walking in.
Beatrix will walk in and she'll catch up to Gozar and
Am I?
gently suggest the winding path.
He'll follow.
Okay. Sergeant Miller, he takes a few seconds to stiffen his men, and they eventually come in. Are you bringing up the rear, Felix?
I'm gonna wait a reasonable amount of time, and then I'll come in finally.
Okay. So I'm not sure if Beatrix explained exactly what this is like, but everybody experiences basically the same thing.
Beatrix warned them all.
Yeah,
What it's like.
Suddenly it seems like all sound is dead. Like, if somebody says something, like if they shout it, it sounds like they're saying it underwater over a great distance.
Yeah, so I think part of the preparation would have been that Beatrix would have told them like hand signals or something, or
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
scratches.
sure. So you pass in and you start following on you start following along the winding path, and eventually, it's what Gozar in the lead here,
Yeah, that's what Gozar wants.
And Beatrix is alongside.
and so is Ivor, with Sergeant Miller's men in the middle and Felix bringing up the rear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, and the men themselves look freak the fuck out. They're legit terrified, including Sergeant Miller, despite his confidence. This is legit terrifying. So, let's see. So, you want to find your way to something. What are you trying to find your way to?
Well, I've kind of got my marching orders, which is to find the convoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I am trying to find the source of the blight.
You're trying to find the source of
So
which...
in that order.
Okay. So, now that you're here, how do you intend to find that? Do you want to just rely on visions, or do you want to use something else?
So, having been in the blight before, I have seen kind of so like there's dead and then there's decayed. So because I've been in the blight, I've seen like what that progression looks like,
Mm-hmm.
and it can give me a sense of what like how long things have been dead for. So if you want me to study a situation on this, that's fine. But like that, so Beatrix would essentially be looking to work backwards and look at the foliage or the homes or what have you that has been decayed the longest as a way to like get a sense of how long it has. So the idea being that the blight has spread outward from a certain point, so that by
Backwards
following
track into
exactly backwards tracking it
Okay.
back.
So you want to use your intellect to observe the situation and move yourself in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think rather than do this. No, let's go ahead and do study a situation.
So that's sly.
Yep.
That is 11.
Okay, so you've got
That's
3
rolls.
questions there.
About time.
Well, you're doing it when it really counts here.
Yeah. So can someone give me the study situation options? Oh, thank you.
Middle bottom.
Yep. Well, who or where is my enemy, really?
So who's your enemy?
Well, in this case, the blight.
Okay. Yeah, so
So I guess where is my enemy, really? Or the source of the blight, I should say. If you want me to be specific.
You're looking for a source of the blight. So I think it sort of seems like that's everywhere. But at the same time, there seems to be a presence in the distance moving to intercept your path.
What am I missing?
That's a good question. You're missing the bigger reason. And I'm telling you this because you're here in this place.
Yep.
That is so dangerous.
Yep.
And the stakes are so high, and yet it's so quiet and perfect for gaining clarity. You are missing why it sent you here in the first place. Not what it said to you, but the real reason.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think I have an idea, but like Beatrix wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Who or what here could be a useful opportunity for me? Thank you.
Who or what here could be a useful opportunity? Yeah. I think Gozar is potentially the most useful person here.
Oh, it's a change.
If you can get him to do whatever the fuck you want him to do.
So, do I have I have a sense that that whatever this presence is, it's heading for us. Do I have a sense of how close it is?
You have a general direction and a sort of general sense of speed. So I'd say it's going to be about an hour before it intersects with the direction you're going.
So, I think I'm going to, or what Beatrix...
And, and I should say, it's going to intersect with the path well ahead of you at your current rate of speed. Like, if you want to meet it there, you're going to have to pick it up.
How clear is, like, the path ahead? Because you said you were, like, at the base of the mountains, right? So, visibility is starting to shrink, I assume, as, like, the hills get steeper and we're not able to see it kind of ahead of us.
You're close to the base of the mountains. You're not really traveling up into them, more traveling around the base. The bigger problem is the further you're getting in, it's not just that everything's dead.
Yeah.
It's that the dirt's no longer quite dirt. It's more like the consistency of ash.
Yeah.
And so when the wind kicks up, visibility is vastly reduced.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it very unpleasant to breathe.
Yeah.
In addition to the whole sanity-destroying silence.
Right, of course.
Which nobody's a fan of.
Right. Though, my thought was that when I had Sergeant Miller share worship of it, that it provides not the same level of protection that it's granted me, but a stronger sense for them, for their weak minds, for the weak, semi-faithless minds.
Yeah, I think if it hadn't been for that, Sergeant Miller's men would not be as stiff in their resolve as they are. Like, they would be resisting at this point. They would be trying to fall back, and some of them would have just straight bolted.
Mm-hmm.
For now, they're holding on, but they don't look like they're holding it together very well.
So, I think for Beatrix, she's going to, she is actually going to fall back, and she's going to fall back toward Felix.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a little scribble pad or, parchment or whatever. And she's going to say, and she's going to write to him, "Look around."
Well, I think if you yell loud enough, he can hear you.
She's not the yelling type, so. Is there an area here that looks defensible? In your judgment?
Yeah, I'll look around and give her an honest appraisal.
Okay, yeah. So you see, you see the path you're on, and you can see about like a quarter mile ahead until it starts getting hazy from the ash in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And you see sort of a rise that you think your number could sort of mount a defense from, either by dismounting and setting spears, or by charging down on horseback.
Okay. I'll point in the direction and kind of like angle my hand in the like the curvature of the earth, just to kind of indicate like where I'm talking about is defensible.
Oh, I will say at this point, because I hadn't thought of this, not because this is the time to reveal it, but just because I hadn't thought of it. Like, the horses, you're having a hard time controlling them. They're scared. They're very scared.
Fair enough. So I'm going to gesture for us to go up there, and when we get to the rise, I'm going to kind of lift up my hands and like almost drop them, and as I do, I'd like to whisper into the unspeakable power. So tell me if this is too much, but like my goal is to harness the unspeakable power to essentially drop the wind so that it essentially flattens all of the ash so we can see around us.
No, that's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great use. I like it.
8.
8. Okay, so it
I'm fine with no failures on this.
Yeah, right.
yeah. So that's what, like
I
You
need
remember
to like
one of
show
the-
some small sign of loyalty, or it knows what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, or
favors the other one,
it
right?
asks for something minor in return. I mean, of those 3, there's only one that seems practical. At least as far as having any
it
effect.
asks for
Yeah.
something minor in return. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what that is, I'm not going to overthink this here. I think it's going to take some of your vitality. To make
That was
happen.
what I was thinking.
You're going
too,
to take 1 harm from doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's what, and I would do that absolutely. So like like I don't know, like cut my arm and like let the blood drip or something onto the ground.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's what it requires is you cut your arm open, and it can't be like a little cut. It's
No,
gotta
it's
be
a
big
one harm cut.
Yeah, and so as the blood drips on the ground, you see the dust around each blood drop sort of get drawn into the moisture, and when you look up, you notice that the dust in the air is like following the same pattern. Every drop that hits sucks down
Yeah.
a little further.
Emma. No.
And
No.
the haze clears, and you can see probably a good 3 miles in any direction.
Do I get a sense of where this is, like, or where this presence is now?
Yeah, so you had a general idea of where it was, and now that the general haze is dropped, you can see a column of dust being raised in the distance, and it's heading in the direction of the path that you were on. So it's not headed towards you, it's headed towards something farther up the path.
So it's not headed in our direction?
No. If you wanted to intercept it, you'd have to move a lot faster.
I am going to tell Sergeant Miller that I know this is not what he came out here for, but that is the face of our enemy. And we may not ever have the chance to go to confront it head on again. And if we sit back and wait, the blight will come upon Fallcrest, and we will not have done anything to stop it.
Right. He nods his head solemnly and he asks what your orders are.
I'm going to point at the column of dust and say, charge.
Okay. He rallies his men together and they get the horses together, and you can see him sort of shouting because
What's the response like as I make this very grand action of cutting my arm and
they're a little bit kind of grossed out and horrified, but they knew you were supposed to be doing something freaky like this, so it's not worse than where they're at, and it produces a good result as far as they're concerned in having better visibility. I mean, they're still freaked the fuck out.
yeah,
'cause-
as you do.
yeah. But they seem to be holding it together. And so you see Sergeant Miller going over, he's a little too far away from you to hear him while he's shouting, but you can tell he's shouting to get them ready to move out and to attack an enemy. And you can see one of the men mouth, "Are you fucking serious?"
that's the only thing that's visible is just a column of dust. There's not anything.
Yeah, it's behind a rise that's about a mile off. Like if you crested that rise, you could probably get eyes on what you're dealing with there.
Okay.
But it means moving out of the defensive position that you're in.
Yeah.
So he's getting them ready. Is anybody else doing anything?
Gozar's just ready to go.
I'll
Tired of
write.
waiting.
Sorry.
That's it.
I'll write up next to Miller and just tell him like, let's get a better. If we're gonna go like meet this thing, let's get a better idea of what it is. Like maybe we can write it further.
Alright, so you suggest the rise you see that could
Yeah.
give you eyes on it? Okay. He thinks about it for a second and then nods. And he starts moving his men out in that direction.
And I'll ride alongside with Sergeant Miller.
Okay. What are you guys doing?
I mean, I'm
Gozar
right
will follow.
behind Sergeant Miller. I'm on
Okay.
his horse, so.
Yeah, I just didn't know if you were following along or if you were letting them go out to do this.
No. I want to
Gozar's
know what
fine,
this
too.
is as much as anyone.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm.
Yep.
So yeah, you guys travel ahead at quick speed to try and keep pace with this thing that's moving. And you crest the hill. And who wants to study a situation?
Gozar will.
Emma.
That is a what?
Sly.
Sly. It's +1. That's an 8. That is a 9.
Okay, 2 questions.
I got it right
Oh, you.
Can, is there?
Like a help out.
Yeah. Do you want to do it? Can we do an assist?
Yeah,
too?
you can do an assist.
Emma.
I would make the roll as well.
here. Yeah, it's plus Sly to help or interfere with another
it's
PC's
just
move.
you just what's the thing for?
When you are in a scene with another PC and you help or interfere with their move, describe how you're doing it, and then roll whatever the stat is appropriate.
So it'd be Sly for you too.
Yep.
First roll of the night.
Then. Make it a good one.
Yeah. No. Gonna be the great equalizer here. 6, 7.
Alright, so choose one. I don't know, hold on, never mind. So they take +1 for that, so that becomes a 10, so you get 3 questions. It
Okay.
does expose you to whatever the danger is here, though, by helping. So we'll see what that means.
Okay.
Because I don't know yet.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I got 3 questions here.
Emma.
How is one of my adversaries vulnerable to me right now? Adversary being the blight. And I guess maybe if
Is that your only adversary?
that's the one I'm focusing on right now. And I guess it vulnerable to us. Like if Gozar's not the only, like if Gozar can't be the one to do it, like is there who is the person or like what is the blight vulnerable to amongst our group?
Can you ask a different question first?
Sure.
And then come back to that?
Yeah.
I just want to figure out how to answer these. I might answer them in the same
Yeah,
order
so
that you
Gozar's
asked
going to
them.
ask one a little more personal. Who or where is my enemy really? I'm not talking about the blight. Other people in the group.
You get the sense that your gravest enemies are all back at Fallcrest.
Okay. That's good enough for me.
Like, the Blight's plenty fucking dangerous.
Yeah, of
but
course, of course.
It's like, if you turn around and go, you could probably get out.
Okay. I don't know if this one's going to work, but this just seems like an interesting one for me. Who's actually pulling the strings here?
I was thinking about that question too. That's a good one.
Yeah. So
There's so many strings.
there are so many strings. So let's just say that the abilities you tap into are their power comes from the same place that the power of the blight comes from.
All right.
The power of Beatrix's it comes from, because you've touched that as
Yep.
well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, you have.
Interesting. Hey, I've gotten 2 lookalikes for it too.
Well, you used one.
I used 1, but yeah. All right, and then the last question: how is one of my adversaries vulnerable to me right now? That being the blight.
Okay, so vulnerable is a relative term.
Of course.
It doesn't mean weak in this particular situation. It just means
Of course.
an opportunity or attack. So, as you crest the hill and you see what's producing the dust cloud, you see that it's a moderate-sized group of reavers, probably 15 to 20, by your guess. But there's something much larger in the middle of them, and they're all moving at a run. But there's something much larger in the middle of them. And at this speed, it has the general shape of a man, except wider and much thicker and much larger. And there seems to be sort of a yellowish glow poking through the surface of its skin at various points. You can't really make out what it is you're looking at, though, from here.
All right. I think at this point he would turn to Captain Miller and kind of,
Big promotion.
Mhm.
I'm just being funny.
Big goddamn promotion.
Well, he's got his confidence back.
He would turn to Captain Miller and kind of explain what he saw and what he's up against.
Once you point it out to him, he sees it, and he understands what you're getting at.
Okay.
So you guys are all seeing the same thing at this point now that's been pointed out. What are you doing?
Beatrix is going to Sergeant Miller that this is what we came here for. And that if we can strike a blow against this, we can strike a true blow against the blight and what it's really being caused by.
Okay. So are you trying to inspire him and his men?
Yes.
Right. With just words, or like, give me your method.
Emma.
So she is going to raise her bloodied arm and point down at that and says, if you wish to defend your families, and you wish to defend your duties, and you wish to defend your home, then that is what we must bring down. And no walls and no keeps will protect it unless we make a stand here and now.
So, Matt, you get a +1 forward on acting on information about what's vulnerable here.
Yeah.
Do you want to give that to Josh
Yeah.
for this roll?
I'll give that to Josh. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so is this a persuade with leverage?
Persuade with leverage.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'm also going to use an honor point based on...
To give another +1 to that, so you got +2 to this roll in addition to your stat, whatever that is.
Wow. Oh, thank God. So that's 7. Plus my 1 wily is 8. Plus
9,
the 2
10.
bonuses, 10.
Alright, so they nod along and they have solemn expressions on their face, but they're ready to go. They are looking to some martial authority here, so they look at Felix.
Yeah. I want to. I have a move too, like Rabbit Dog let out of his cage. When you undertake an act of violence that someone has tasked you with,
Yeah.
roll plus fierce.
Go for it.
So
Oh,
Did
yeah,
my-
I'll draw
my-
my auto points.
the other move is I'm supposed to make a roll at the beginning of the session. Oops. So
What was that? We can roll that back and do it.
that was smell of blood and steel. So at the beginning of the session, roll plus fierce on a hit, hold one, and spend it to arrive at the scene of a battle. On 10 plus, take a +1 forward to the first move upon arriving at a battle. On a miss, the MC holds one.
Okay. Yeah. So you could
Retroactively,
get
give me to retroactively roll that or whatever.
if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah. 7 plus, I don't know what my fierce is. I think it's 2.
Did you is it in the sheet?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, your fierce is 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
your gauntlet, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to be close to
9.
Okay. So what was the mixed success contingency there?
I got a hit, so I hold 1.
Okay.
It's not a 10 plus though, so and then do you want me to also roll for like a rabbit dog, the first one that I
Yeah. Do you want to use your hold on that, or you want to save it for?
Yeah, I'll use my hold on this.
Okay.
7, 9, 10.
Okay.
So on a 10 plus, I pick 2. So inflict +1 harm.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are 2 other options: use fierce instead of slide to study a person, or I get a +2 to act on information from study a person instead of a +1 until the order is completed. I might take I guess what would work then Felix doesn't know what this big humanoid thing is. I've never seen anything like that. He's never seen anything like that on all of his trips to the patrol
No,
of the
he is
blight.
not.
So would that make a study? Would it study a situation or study a person to see?
I think study a person would be very appropriate if you wanna understand what it is you're looking at.
So I'll choose that then, using fierce instead of slide to study a person.
All right. Great. Do it.
9, 11.
Okay. So do you have the thing, or do you need?
I can roll. Do you know what page it's on?
I do not. It's one of the early pages, though. I think.
Study a situation, study a person. Okay. And then for a 10 plus, ask 3 questions. Study a person, not study a situation, right?
Whichever you think is more appropriate. Whichever set of questions you want to use.
Okay. I feel like study a person wouldn't be appropriate.
Yeah, it's a little more interpersonal.
Right,
than,
right.
You know.
What here could be a useful opportunity for me?
So, as you're looking at it more closely, it doesn't. It's humanoid, but it's definitely not human. It almost looks like it's made out of wood. And there are seams in these what looks like scales of bark almost, as best you can tell from this distance. And that's what the yellow glow is emanating from, is the
seams.
gaps between these seams. So that could potentially be a weak point.
So, okay. Where's
Thank you, bless you.
where's my best way? I guess best way in.
Best way in. So you're on a bit of a crest, about a little more than a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the direction they're heading in and the terrain that's in front of you, there is a small hill to your diagonal. If you approached from behind the hill and came around it
Mm-hmm.
and hit them in the front, that would give them very little warning.
I'll communicate that to Sergeant Miller.
Mhm.
So and then for the last, how is my adversary vulnerable to me? And just thinking about it in terms of that group of marauders that, not marauders. What was the
Reavers?
Reavers. Thank you.
Yeah, they how do they also know? So the fact that you're on horses and they don't appear to be well armed to fight that, if you capitalize on that quickly before the horses completely freak out, that'll give you your best advantage.
Okay. Great. Thank you. That's my 3. All right. So I'll pass that along to.
Yeah, it's getting late, so do we want to... So what do we want to do? Do we want to leave this on a bit of a cliffhanger here?
Not a bad spot to leave it. About to head into the battle, pretty much.
I think that's a fun spot.
Yeah, that's an exciting
Yeah,
spot to leave
yeah.
it in. So make note of
+1
what
harm.
it was that you're going to have
Okay.
be able to carry +1 forward on, because I'm so not going to remember.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I don't think I get a +1 forward. I think I just get +1. I use my +1 forward, I think, but I have +1 harm for the combat.
So when you study a person or a situation, if you act on
okay.
the answers that
I see.
were
I gotcha.
given, that gives you +1 on. Well, not +1 forward. It's basically holding 1.
Okay,
+1 on your next action that uses that information.
gotcha.
So,
Don't
like,
worry.
if you're leading a charge around that hill, you get +1 on that.
Gotcha.
If you're striking at a weak point that's glowing, you get +1 on that.
Gotcha.
For the first time, at least. So just make a note of that, because I'm really not going to remember.
No, that's cool. Okay. Thanks.
Well, I thought that I'd get out of this with Beatrix having accomplished her goals or being dead, and
The
both
story
look
always
plausible.
moves slower than we think it does.
Well, no, I mean I think that actually both seem more likely, actually,
yeah.
simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with
So
that.
we're going to do our end of session stuff, right?
Yes, we
Oh,
do.
excellent.
Chris was
And-
the one that used an honor.
I actually gotta make a note that
I
Dr.
used them-
Cavex
I
owes
used
you
them
a
earlier.
visit.
Used an honor also.
He does, yes. Within the hour. I actually spelled it with a C originally.
As did I.
Yeah, I did Kavex.
I did it with a C, yeah.
You can spell it however the fuck you want.
Oh, no.
He may not last long enough, but
Let's
His time may be up.
see.
so just thinking ahead for just a minute. Entanglements. I only have one left that isn't, a blank one. So I assume you'd want me
You
to
just
take
pick it from.
Okay.
Do you have the option to make your own?
Yes, I think you have to take it as an advancement.
I'd have to take it as an advancement, and I haven't yet.
Otherwise, you
okay.
just pick another one that you've already done, and then you just
Okay.
start over again.
So, have I seized greater power no matter how petty? I haven't seized it quite yet. But
you've you're
Laid the
maneuvering the
groundwork.
pieces into place, but yes, that's not quite there yet. Next section, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Double cross
well, we'll
sounds
see.
powerful and important. Who trusts you?
Also, not quite yet. I don't
Not
think.
quite yet.
Well, he did take Auntie Hilda into custody.
And he told me that he was being sent to kill me.
So I did betray the king as well. I was thinking more Hilda just because I
You
kinda-
betrayed Hilda because Hilda asked you to kill Felix, and you told him that you were.
True.
So are you double crossing
Hilda
Hilda?
also said don't do it if it's
Yeah.
gonna put you.
I'm
in
thinking
danger.
more of the fact that
I never
the
told you to kill him.
No, I'm thinking
Yeah.
more. I'm thinking more the arrangement with you and I
Something
had.
want to though.
What?
You said you might want to.
I'm thinking more the arrangement you
That,
and me had.
that was more a shit-stirring move than a
Yeah.
request.
Right.
I'm thinking more of the conversation we had, and then you acting upon having Hilda basically put in jail. Because that'd be basically betraying Hilda. Because I said, all right, you know, if I get back, then
Who's betraying Hilda?
me.
Why?
Because I pretty much said, yeah, okay, when I get back, let's. Because you offered to take care of me being
but
head
you're-
of my
you're-
family.
Oh, so are you saying that you're committed to usurping Hilda's control of the family?
as long as
Are
Hilda
you
doesn't,
are
as
you
long,
committed to that?
as long as Hilda doesn't get hurt.
But you're committing to that course then?
No, not really yet. So I can see how that wouldn't be it.
Well, if you tell me that you're committing to that course of action,
Well, I don't want Hilda to know about it. That's the problem, and I don't trust the king. So I'm not going to
yeah.
commit yet because I don't trust Lord
Okay.
Torin.
Okay.
Trust me.
Right.
Beatrix?
I'm sorry. Is this?
Oh, you did.
I already
get yours.
did my. I already did
And
my
Felix?
entanglement.
I didn't get mine.
Yeah. Those are hard to get a lot of the time.
Yeah, they are. I don't think I've got one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm still
I've got
sitting at 2 check marks on this advancement thing.
Torin used an honor move. I don't.
I
did.
anybody else you did. Okay, go ahead and get
Yep.
one from that.
What? I get a...
The first time you use an honor move in a session, you get a +1 advancement
Oh,
point.
shit. Look at that.
There you go.
Nice.
And then
That's how I leveled
nobody
up.
failed a roll.
I know.
It makes
No.
it really hard to fuck with your lives if
It
you
does,
don't fail
yeah.
rolls.
To be fair, Nate, you fucked with my life pretty well in this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have had my opportunities. All right, honor. Basically, here are the triggers for gaining honor. Tangibly advance the interests, agenda, and standing of your faction.
Check.
Made a new connection with someone who may find you useful or desirable. Demonstrated your power, talent, wisdom, or skill to others. Spread rumors, secrets, or information to those who need or want it. Gozar got that one.
Yeah, I got that one.
Just count on your own and add whatever you need, and
Back
you
to
lose,
12.
you lose a point of honor for the next session if during the session you were publicly humiliated, repudiated, or shown to be weak. I don't think that was anybody. Went back on your word and betrayed somebody. I don't think that was anybody. You were fucking with people, but
Right. It's
that's,
just how it
that's not
goes.
an active betrayal. Acted against your faction. Also, I don't think anybody.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well done, everyone.
Yeah, that was great.